Hi, and welcome to the Mentally Stronger podcast. Today, I'm going to talk about how we can cultivate true self worth. I think for many of us, when we think about where our sense of self esteem or self worth comes from, if we're really honest with ourselves, we often think about external factors, right? Maybe we believe, for instance, that if we behave in certain ways that we believe are good or right, then we can feel good about ourselves and we can feel worthy. But if we do not behave that way, then we are bad and therefore unworthy. But is our worthiness really in our behavior? And another area where we tend to think about where our self worth comes from is when we compare ourselves to other people. And if we believe we're less than or better than them in some way, if we believe that we are less than them in some way, whether it's less good looking, less wealthy, less smart, less successful, or whatever the measurement is that we're, measuring ourselves against, if somebody is better than us in that domain, then we might feel unworthy or inadequate, right? And if we feel that we are actually better than them, then we might feel superior. We think we're better looking, more successful, we have more money, better things. And so we might have, in that case, a kind of confidence that's based on being better than. But is our worthiness really in how we compare to other human beings? Or perhaps we can feel good about ourselves as long as other people approve of us, right? When we get their approval, they say they like or love us, we get their admiration, we get a certain number of likes on social media, then we can feel like we're enough, worthy, okay as we are. But if they don't like us, then often we fall apart. But is our worthiness really in what other people think of us? The reality is that all of these forms of trying to find a sense of worthiness are both artificial and very unstable. They leave you at the mercy of external and ever-changing conditions. Too often we use these kinds of criteria to measure our self-worth and then end up feeling like we're always falling short. We're left feeling inadequate, disconnected, and stuck in cycles of approval seeking. One of the gifts of training mental strength is that it helps us to clearly see that external factors are not the true measures of our self worth or anybody else's. In order to find true and lasting self worth, we need to let go of looking outside of ourselves for worthiness and begin to cultivate it from within. One of the ways that we do that in mental strength training is by developing the ability to accept and love ourselves exactly as we are without condition, and reminding ourselves of the inner truth that I think we all truly do know deep down, which is that we are all inherently worthy. We're worthy of love and respect. We have an innate worthiness from the moment that we're born. I think we all really know this deep down. Well, when we start to see this more clearly, when we start to actually practice self acceptance and self love actively as a way of being, this is how we cultivate true, lasting, and stable self worth. Then we don't base our self worth on what other people think of us, how much we weigh, what kind of a car we're driving, or what we're wearing. So we gradually learn to let go of worrying so much about all of that. And we learn to accept ourselves just as we are, flaws and all. And this is important because worthiness, feeling like you're enough as a human being, is not about improving, fixing, or changing yourself. It's actually about unwinding the thoughts that tell us the story that we're not enough yet, we're not there yet, we're not okay as we are, we're not as good as this, we're not as good as that. So if we can learn to let go of those thoughts and abide in a deeper place within ourselves, then we touch down on a place of natural wholeness, calm, and contentment within ourselves. And it is such a profound relief when we can learn to simply accept ourselves just as we are and let ourselves be. Now, self love and self acceptance does not mean that we're never going to do anything to improve our life circumstances or give up on our morals and values. Rather, it means just unwinding from the stories that tell us that we're not good enough, that tell us we're deficient and that we need to be fixed. And so then we're able to live our lives and make our choices from a place of confidence, fullness, and self love. So we do things from a mindset of love and wholeness rather than from a mindset of deficiency. We often spend so much time and energy trying to prove ourselves, trying to fix ourselves, trying to get likes and admiration. But training in self acceptance and self love totally changes the game. It turns that pattern of seeking our self worth outside ourselves on its head. So here's two ways that you can start to cultivate true, lasting self worth today. Number one is really, really simple. Start practicing mindfulness regularly. Even if it's just 5 minutes a day, it's going to help you unhook from the thoughts rather and the mental habits that keep pulling you into feelings of unworthiness and deficiency. So we're not trying to get rid of these thoughts, but we're just unhooking ourselves from them so that they no longer have the same kind of hypnotic effect where we believe every single thought and we really fall into those feelings of not good enough, deficiency, unworthiness. But in daily life too, try paying attention to your feelings of self worth throughout the day and just being aware of the times where you judge yourself, where you compare yourself to others, where you feel like you're not enough, where you have that feeling of ugh, unworthiness. And every single time that you catch yourself getting caught in self judgment, comparing, approval seeking, see if you can deliberately switch your mental focus to practicing active self acceptance and self love instead. Remind yourself of your inherent worthiness. Try to have an attitude of accepting yourself just as you are, your good qualities as well as your flaws. And you can do this by having the attitude towards yourself of kindness and compassion, speaking to yourself mentally in a warm and kindly way, like you might do to a loved one who's imperfect, but totally lovable. So see if you can also have a sense of appreciation for yourself, for your good qualities, for your talents, for your strengths, for your body, for your mind. Because in the words of John Kabat-Zinn, if you can stop trying to make yourself more than you are out of a fear that you're less than you are, then whoever you really are will be a lot lighter, happier, and easier to live with too. So I encourage you to try this practice for yourself in the week ahead. If you have any feelings of deficiency, low self-worth, feeling less than another in some way, see if you can catch it, switch the focus to self-acceptance and self-love. And in this way, you're going to be cultivating step by step, bit by bit, lasting sense of self-worth that doesn't depend on anything outside you and becomes stronger and stronger the more you practice, something that stays with you no matter what life throws your way. I hope this is really helpful for you. Thank you for your practice of mental strength. It's really a gift to yourself and to the world. Take care and stay strong. If you found this video helpful, you can subscribe to this channel by hitting the subscribe button below. And if you know someone who you think might benefit from listening to this episode, share it with them. Sharing it could really help them feel better and improve the quality of their life. And if you'd like some more in-depth support on becoming mentally stronger, come and check out the coaching and training options that I offer on my website. Thanks for listening. Take care and stay strong.